Hello, welcome to Self-Awareness is Your Secret Weapon, Season 1, Episode 7, with the theme Meditation. Before we get into the episode, I want to mention the Mind Journal. They're available at mindjournals.com. It's a structure designed specifically for guys to develop and grow a journaling habit. Been very powerful for me. And most recently, I've discovered the power of reflecting back on what's happened in my journal and discovering there are loads of good things hidden amongst all the stuff that happens. It's only with that practice of reflecting that I get to appreciate the good things in my life. Highly recommended. They're available at mindjournals.com. Check them out for men and for the men in your life. Today's topic is meditation. And again, extremely popular in the world of self-development because it's something that repeatedly successful people do. It's very easy to find an article about meditation and discover that it's something that millionaires, billionaires, people who start up tech companies that are super amazing do regularly. They meditate. And Tim Ferriss, who's someone I admire, in his book Tribe of Mentors and his other publications, actually, he's talked about the power of meditation. And one of the things that surprised him is that he's Tools of Titans is another one of his book. Tools of Titans, Tribes of Mentors, 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Chef, 4-Hour Body. He's talked about meditation that surprised him that so many successful people he's interacted with actually meditate. So once he heard it from several different kinds of people, it was something he started to investigate. And on my Instagram at James D'Souza 76, I do a 1-minute video every Monday on a particular theme, and it matches the theme of Self-Awareness is Your Secret Weapon, the podcast. And this week I was talking about meditation, and Tim Ferriss talks about the power of meditation and how it's thinking about, he says something along the lines of thinking about and noticing your thoughts so that you can stop being a walking reaction to everything. And people have a very stereotypical view about what meditation actually is. So I'm going to outline what it is and then give 3 potential resources. And then one more thing that I think is really important to consider if you start meditating. So what meditation actually is. Stereotypically, and it was actually one of my students that said this week, when I told him that I meditate daily, he said, "Oh, do you sit cross-legged with your finger and thumb together chanting?" I said, "No, that's a stereotypical view of what meditation is. It's so much more than that. And it's a lot simpler than what people think it is." So when you really start to look at what meditation is, it's actually paying attention to what's going on with your own experience right now. It's training your attention and awareness. And then as you do that, you find more mental clarity and more calmness in your emotions and more stability. So I'll say that again. Meditation is training your attention of what's going on with you so that you can develop mental clarity and calmness and stability. Now, there are different ways of doing that. Some meditation practices will maybe emphasize paying attention to your breathing. Other meditation practices might suggest pay attention to what's going on with your body, how you're sitting. Other meditation practices might actually focus on a chant or chanting something specific. But whatever the practice is, when you're meditating, what you're doing is you're paying attention to what's going on with you. And a byproduct of doing that is the emotional and mental calmness and stability. So it isn't just about sitting there cross-legged and holding a particular pose and finding zen, calm, and you're not thinking. Because that's the other thing that a pupil of mine said. He said, when you meditate, so that means you're not thinking. Far from it. When you're meditating, what's actually happening is you're noticing your thoughts even more. You're paying attention to your thoughts. And the more you pay attention to your thoughts, the more it's you start to have an experience, or certainly I started to have an experience of, oh, I'm thinking. They're just thoughts. My thoughts are not who I am. My thoughts are just moving along like a constant stream of whatever. It's a bit like sometimes I can think so much, it can feel really noisy in my head. When I meditate, I have this experience of paying attention to the noise in my head. And then once I start paying attention to that, I can acknowledge it and start going, oh, it's there. It's almost like the noise starts to reduce, and I can find clarity and calmness within the whole experience. So meditation is really that experience of paying attention to what's going on with you so that you can find clarity. Now, 3 resources that I've come across, and I've used 2 of them. One of my friends has recommended Sam Harris's app called Waking Up. Now, this is actually a friend of mine. Slight side note, slight bit of promotion. We do a podcast together, a live stream on YouTube together every Sunday called Teaching Tangents. It's at 10 a.m. UK time, where we take a question from one of our pupils, because he lectures university students. I'm a school teacher. We take a question and then we talk about it and discuss it and go off on tangents as we answer the question. But one of the things that we find ourselves talking about a lot is how powerful meditation is finding and creating our own mental stability and clarity. So he recommends Sam Harris's app, Waking Up. Now, what's interesting is that it's a paid app, but you can email whoever runs the app and say, look, for whatever reason, I genuinely can't afford it, and they will give it to you for free or for a reduced price. So this app, there's a lot of resources within this app, not only about meditation, but also podcasts and resources about thinking and noticing and improving your thought processes and emotional state and all of that. Sam Harris is a neuroscientist who's done a lot of research and thinking about how we think, but also the effects of meditation. So that's one resource. Resource number 2 is one that I've used, and that's Headspace, and very successful, very popular meditating app. I used it for a year. I really liked it. At the time, I was using it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I did find I meditated daily with it for an entire year. But after a while, I did find it repetitive. The graphics are really clear. It's very well put together. But I found myself getting a bit bored of it because I found it very narrow in its focus. Whereas Sam Harris's app has lots of other extra resources. I found Headspace very good about meditation, but not really the experience of thinking. It didn't really give me a lot more. Now, the app, I haven't looked at it recently. It might have expanded and included a lot more things. I don't know. But certainly I found it a very good starting place for developing a meditation practice. The third resource that I recommend is one that I currently use, which is Calm, calm.com, and the app Calm. I subscribe to it. I think it's brilliant because of the range of information that's available. So not only are there regular daily meditations from a range of different sources and people, there are also sleep stories. There's also things to get you thinking, something called a daily spark that can inspire you to develop yourself and think more deeply about how you want to grow. And there's also prompts a bit like a mini journal for gratitude and for reflections. And lots of other celebrities actually will do sleep stories, and actually it's very entertaining as well. The other thing it has is music. So music that I will often listen to when I'm focusing, when I want to write or maybe do some marking. So it's not just about meditation, it's also about flow states and focus. So I found Calm very interesting, very useful, because it has such a range of resources and it supports that kind of daily meditation practice. So to recap, meditation is where you actually start to pay attention to what's going on in your thoughts, your own experience. And by doing that, you can actually find clarity, calm, and stability. You turn up the volume on what's going on with you and pay attention to it so that you can start to realize, oh, that's what's going on, and then let it go and find space within that. Meditation is really about taking time for yourself. And that's what makes it so powerful. Everything else that's been happening is put on pause, and it's just time for you. So it's a really powerful thing to start practicing. And there's 3 resources: Waking Up with Sam Harris, Headspace, and Calm are 3 things you can investigate. Now, the last point I want to make: meditation is really powerful when it's a practice. When you have it as a daily practice, as a daily habit, that's when it becomes incredibly powerful. Because what it does is, in my opinion, it builds a foundation, it builds resilience, it builds a space, it builds your ability to insulate yourself against whatever ups and downs are happening, because it's time for you. You can put everything on pause and take care of yourself and your own experience. But you only really discover how powerful it is when you have it as a daily practice. So I invite you to investigate the resources I've mentioned. But if you're going to start meditating, I really invite you to take it on as a daily practice. Try it for a month and start to reflect on what you notice, how after 1 month, and then 3 months, and then 6 months, if you integrate meditation into your life, that's when you'll discover just what a difference it can make in your ability to not be so reactive to what's happening and actually start to own your own thought processes, your own kind of ups and downs in life, and find clarity, stability, and calm with whatever's happening. With this episode of Self-Awareness is Your Secret Weapon. If you like what you've heard and you'd like to spend a bit more time thinking and taking action on the ideas and maybe slowing it down, then consider joining my email list. If you go to the URL in the corner, you should be able to see it there, selfawareness.jamesdesouza.com/secret weapon. That's self-awareness, all spelled out, .jamesdesouza, JamesDesouza.com/secret weapon, again, all spelled out. Then put your name and email address there, and you'll get some more information from me about thinking and applying these ideas in your life so that you can make the most of the world of self-development, one idea at a time, and take action in your own life.